Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education, Marzano's high-yield instructional strategies. Marzano's research highlights 9 very effective instructional strategies that all teachers should become familiar with. Let's begin with the first strategy, teaching through similarities and differences. One way to utilize similarities and differences is by comparing. The Venn diagram is an example of comparing information. Venn diagrams have 2 circles with differences on the outside and similarities on the inside. They're used to answer questions like how are things similar and how are things different. Another example of similarities and differences is classifying. Classifying can be seen when students specify elements to items to arrange them in groups. A classifying lesson example would be where students are given a list of food items, then they must categorize those items as either an acid or a base. Teaching with analogies are another way to use similarities and differences. A coach is to a team as blank is to a movie. A director is to a movie. Metaphors are another example, and very similar to analogies. In a science classroom, a teacher may say atoms are the building blocks of an element. Here, the teacher is identifying the similarities and differences between the two. Atoms are the individual units, and building blocks are the individual units. Let's move on to the next strategy, summarizing and note-taking. Students are often asked to summarize, basically meaning to create a concise version of information. The first thing you want to teach students is to identify important information. Takes understanding of the content. Students can delete repetitive information and use summarizing to get down to the brass tacks. There are several different types of summary frames that students may use. They include the narrative frame, topic frame, definition frame, and problem frame. Note-taking should be a form of active learning. It's more than just sitting in a classroom and copying down word for word what is said. Students should write down questions, use webbing to connect information, and generally interact with their notes. Circle, erase, highlight, etc. On to number 3. Reinforcing effort and providing recognition. Don't just assume that students understand and value hard work. You want to directly tell students that their effort will lead to success. Give them an okay, a thumbs up, and a pat on the back. You can even leave them a post-it note for their classroom effort. Don't just praise students for doing what is expected, give them praise when it's earned. Providing recognition when a child has an achievement helps build intrinsic values and intrinsic motivation for that child. If a student earns a grade of an A on a difficult exam, give that student a handshake. Though many teachers disagree with homework, it is the next strategy. Homework and practice. Now, there's been much controversy over homework these days, but meaningful homework does increase student achievement. The problems occur when teachers give out homework for homework's sake. Teachers need to provide feedback on homework problems. They also need to make it meaningful to the students. When assigning homework, you wouldn't give a first grader the same amount as a 12th grader. The amount of homework should increase as students advance in grade levels. Give your students enough time to practice the skills that they were taught in the classroom. The old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Student skills develop through practice and repetition. I mean, how would you expect a student to get better at reading if they don't actually practice reading? Next on the list, non-linguistic representations. Students will benefit from receiving content in a variety of ways, not just verbal. The fact is that children today are used to receiving information through television. If you're teaching students how to count, it's best using manipulatives and concrete objectives. Information is better organized when using visual representations at times. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Can you even imagine teaching a geography class without maps, images, diagrams, etc.? And if you ever have to read directions to put something together, you better hope for some visual examples. Next up, cooperative learning. Cooperative learning should be used to increase student achievement while teaching students, quote, soft skills and fostering student relationships. So many jobs require teamwork and collaborating with others. In the classroom, cooperative learning examples include learning centers and jigsaw activities. Learning centers are great for grouping students to work on specific skill sets. At each center, teachers can have students work together to solve problems, write a story, or carry out science experiments. The next instructional strategy is setting objectives and providing feedback. Provide students a clear and measurable learning target, and have students work towards achieving that goal. Lesson targets are the first step toward learning. They set classrooms in the right direction. Give feedback that is both constructive and positive. Relate the feedback to the learning target. You have to let students know what they are doing right and what they are doing wrong, or else how can you expect them to learn? Next up, generating and testing hypotheses. There are different tasks that will require students to generate and test hypotheses. Some examples of lesson tasks include problem solving, inventions, decision making, experimenting, investigations, and system analysis. Hypothesizing requires high order thinking. Students must not only retain information, but must also apply that information using logic. Don't just give students solutions. Ask them to make predictions and deductions as to what may happen next. And lastly, questions, cues, and advanced organizers. Questions and cues will guide students to analyze and apply information while evoking critical thinking skills. Teachers should routinely pose questions to the students. Be sure to give students ample wait time. The time is necessary for students to process the question. Then call on a student. After the student responds, follow up with more probing questions. Advanced organizers introduce and categorize information for students. Advanced organizers can be used to activate prior knowledge, as in the case of KWL charts. Right now, I would just like to say thank you for your time. Subscribe to this channel. Also, click on the link in the description for teaching strategy poster boards and the corresponding PowerPoint that goes with this video.